Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We're the Garso twins. We would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Today we're going to be sharing products that are underrated in our opinion, so let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna go in order that you would apply them to your face. So I have a primer. This is the Laura Mercier Hydrating Foundation Primer, and I don't really hear anyone on YouTube talking about the Laura Mercier primers in general, but they sent this to us recently, and I love it because Mariah Leonard actually put this in her favorites video, and I like it for the same reason that she does, because she said that it dries almost like a lotion, like it doesn't dry dewy, which I personally use a lot of other dewy products, like I like dewy foundations and dewy setting sprays, so I like when my primer is not matte but just looks like skin. And this one definitely blends into the skin, and it doesn't sit on top and give it like a dewy glowy finish, even though it is really hydrating. So it's really hard to find a hydrating primer that's this consistency, and it does hydrate the skin, so I'm really enjoying this. Okay, another base product. We've talked about this in a lot of recent videos, but this is the Clinique for Men face bronzer, and they also make a women's version that's the same thing. It's like the women's face jelly or something, and it's basically like, I don't know if you can see the color, but it's really dark. Like today I mixed it in with my SPF, and then I put it on my face as like my base, and then I'm not wearing foundation. So it basically adds like a tint to your face, but it washes off. Like it doesn't, it's not like a gradual tanner. Like it'll just wash off when you wash your face. It's a really nice color. It is a little red, but we like that more than it being orange. Yeah. So I wish it was a little more like green based, like neutral, but besides that, it's an awesome product. We love mixing it into like glowy lotions and using that as a base, and it's so versatile. I use it like every day now. Like today I didn't want to wear foundation, so I just put this on because at least it gives my skin some color, so it's not looking so fair. But it's so lightweight. It's like a lotion with a color, and it's such a good mixing medium. Like it's such a good product.
No one talks about this.
No one talks about it. I was just on the hunt for a product like this, so I just did a lot of research and happened to stumble upon this, but I had literally heard no one, and then I tried to find videos on it, and no one had done videos. So, like, most underrated product in this video.
Yeah, for sure.
Another completely underrated product is the Pixi by Petra Correction Concentrate, and we have the shade Brightening Peach. We've been using this for years. This is probably my 10th pot.
I think I first bought it when we moved to LA. So like 5 years ago?
4 years ago.
Wait, 5?
4? 4. We've lived here for 4 years. 4 years ago. So yeah, this is probably like my 10th pot of this, and because it's small. It's really small. You only get 0.1 ounce, which is crazy. Yeah, I've already like hit the pan bottom on it. But it basically, you put this on, so I prime my face, and then you put the correction concentrate on. You just like pat it under the eyes, and it covers up your dark circles like instantaneously, and then you obviously go in with foundation and then concealer. But we have really bad dark circles. We think they're just hereditary, which is fine. But this stuff, like when I did it on one eye, and you can just like see the difference, it's night and day. Like I cannot go without this. And they used to make a concealer in this same component that was like the, I can't remember what it's called, but they discontinued that. And I want to say that they made another shade of this. Do you know if they did? Because there is another shade. There's the Brightening Peach, and then there's the, oh, what is it? It's like it's a darker shade. Okay, good, because this will only really color correct if you have like light to medium skin. Yeah. You would definitely
There's a darker shade.
Okay, yeah, because this is perfect for our skin tone, because a lot of the peachy correctors are a little too like peach, where this one leans a little more pink. Yeah. So it's so good. Again, like no one talks about this. No, and if you have dark circles, I feel like the only way to really cover them up is with a corrector. Yeah. Because peach cancels like the darkness. I remember I just bought this because I was at Target, and it was in like the heyday of the color correcting phase. Yeah. And no one had talked about it. I just was like, oh, color corrector from Pixi. And we've tried other ones. We know the Becca one is popular. And the one from Catrice I bought recently, and that one's too creamy. This one is the perfect consistency. It doesn't budge. Once you pat it down, it's there. Yeah, it's so good. This video is making me happy. And I'm like, oh, I want to share what these products are because no one talks about them. Okay, we're going a little out of order since I have a highlighter and Britta has some face products. But the highlighter I think is so underrated is the NYX Away We Glow liquid highlighters. I have the shade Daytime Halo, and it's just a liquid highlighter in this tiny component, and it has like a doe foot applicator, and I just put it on my cheek and press it in. I'm wearing it today, and I think it's so beautiful, and I don't know why no one talks about these, especially since I'm pretty sure they recently released more shades, and now they have like holographic ones and then more natural colors like this. And it's a really beautiful liquid highlighter. It is very thin, but I've worn it over foundation and powder, and it doesn't like lift your base. And it just goes on so beautifully, and it leaves you with a really natural glow, but also like there's a sheen. Like, I hope you can see, like, it's definitely visible. It's not like so natural that you're like, oh, is she even wearing highlighter? But it's very like not glittery and just leaves a beautiful sheen. And it doesn't really have like, even though there's different colors, I wouldn't say that it shows up as a color on your skin. Like
Pigment, like there's not a lot.
Yeah, there's not a lot of pigment in it. Like, it's more of just this like pearlized liquid, which is so beautiful. It's my kind of highlighter. I think this is so good, and it's so cheap. I don't know the exact price, but I want to say like $8. And I've had this forever, and I still am not out of it. So it's a great product. Okay, I have a bronzer. This is the Balm Take Home the Bronze bronzer, and I have the shade Oscar. And I know they had some weird issue and they had to change the names, so I'll link the correct one down below. And I know that a lot of people mentioned these when they first came out, but now I hear no one talk about them or use them, and I love this bronzer because they market it as anti-orange, and I totally agree. Like, even in the pan, so this is the lightest shade, and in the pan it looks almost like gray, like a gray bronzer, but on the face, I'm wearing it today, it just looks so neutral and natural, and it's so hard to find a neutral toned bronzer. It's basically impossible. So I feel like because they marketed it as anti-orange, they probably did so much like research and testing to find these shades, because it's just, it looks good on, I feel like, any skin tone, because it doesn't pull too orange or too red or too pink. And which is really hard for us being pretty light skin tone to find a bronzer like, that doesn't things will look orange. Like in the Bare Minerals, that is my favorite bronzer of all time, the Bare Minerals Invisible Bronze, but the light shade in that was like a really weird tone, so I had to get the medium, which is a pretty good neutral tone, but it is a little dark on me. Whereas this one, I feel like all the ones in this range are just not too warm at all, which is really impressive. The formula is really nice. It's talc free. It blends out so beautifully on the skin. I feel like the pan size might be a little small. How much is in here?
It's larger than their old bronzers though, or at least
it
looks like it.
It is 0.25 ounces. I don't know, maybe that's average for a bronzer, but I like that it's slim. It's like easy to carry with you. I don't worry about this breaking at all. It does have a nice little mirror. So really recommend this if you're looking for a bronzer that isn't gonna pull too warm on your light skin tone. This is the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush in the shade Just Playful, and I like all the shades, but this is my favorite. I've actually repurchased this. This is my second blush, and it isn't talc free, so I don't use it too often anymore, but I'm using it today to show you like how beautiful it is on the face. It's just like the most gorgeous pinky nude blush ever to exist. It blends out so beautifully. It's not too pigmented, but it is pigmented. So I feel like it's not one of those blushes that you can build up, which I do really like that kind of blush, like the Burt's Bees ones. Absolutely adore those. But this one is like the perfect amount of pigment where you can like put it on in one stroke, blend it out, and you're good to go. And the shade range is just so beautiful. I feel like this pan, how much is in here? 0.25, has lasted me. Like, I obviously said this was my second purchase, or second one of this color, but it lasted me a good while. I like the pan that it's long like this. I don't know, it's easy for me to get my brush in there. And these are like $6 at Ulta. No one really talks about these. I heard about it from Casey Holmes, but aside from her, I hadn't heard anyone mention these on YouTube. And the blush range is so pretty. They have like everyday nudes, so I feel like anyone can find a shade that works for them. We talk about this in like every favorites video. This is my favorite eyebrow gel. I think it's up there with Britta's too. Yeah. And it is the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer Brow Mascara. And this actually has some pretty poor reviews on like Ulta and Amazon. Yeah. But I love it. It works so well for my brows. I'm actually not wearing it today. I'm trying to get rid of another brow gel I have.
I'm wearing it if you're
interested. But it holds your brows so well.
Yeah.
The color Soft Brown is perfect for us. The brush really separates all your eyebrow hairs, so if you have like sparse hairs and you want to make it look fuller, this is for you. It says fiber volumizer, but I don't think the fibers, but there are noticeable fibers.
They're there, but they're not overpowering, so if you were worried about that,
it's just so good. And I just hope they don't get rid of it because a lot of people apparently don't like it, but I love it. I think
so
that, so Carly has really full eyebrows and I don't have as full of eyebrows, so it works for me, but I think it works better for her. So that's where I'm thinking that the negative complaints come into play. But my favorite thing about it is that the brush itself has really short spikes, I guess you would say. So it deposits pigment and it also brushes through without being like, you know how some brow gels are a normal spoolie? And I feel like that deposits too much pigment and then it brushes through like too aggressively. So you're basically dragging the pigment across like your eyebrows, if you know what I mean, if you can like imagine that. Whereas this, like it deposits the perfect amount without like continuing to drag or brush too much, because I feel like sometimes it tends to like brush the product out of the brows, which defeats the purpose. So this really like sets everything into place while depositing product. And I just try to like use the very end of it on the end of my brows.
Yeah, me too.
Because mine are very sparse over here. But love this. I feel like it's so good once you like kind of get the hang of the brush. It's also the perfect consistency. It's not too watery and like wet like some brow gels like Boy Brow, which I hate. And it's not too dry. Like there's a lot of brow gels that are too dry and then it's like sucking like the life out of your brows. Like it dries like a nice satin finish and it isn't too wet, if that makes sense. It's perfect. Yeah. And it's so cheap. It's like $6. Okay, next up is a liquid eyeshadow. I'm actually wearing it on my lids today. This is the e.l.f. It's right here, Molten Liquid Eyeshadow, and I have the shade Brushed Copper. I bought this so long ago when they first came out. This whole line, I think it's like their
aqua line?
Yeah, like something, the ones with like the blue on them. And these are $3 or $4 at Target, so inexpensive. And originally when I bought this, I kind of used it as an eyeshadow primer. So I would like I would put a thin layer of this down and then press the powder or the powdered eyeshadow into it. And it really made my eyeshadow stay in place all day, which I loved. And then I just got curious one day and was like, oh, I wonder if I should try to use this on its own. And it's so pretty on its own. That's how I'm wearing it today. And it's just a normal spoolie. So I put some on my finger and I just dab it on the eyelid. It just gives you that beautiful glossy lid effect. And there is a little bit of glitter in here, but it's not chunky glitter. It's very finely milled. So it just looks like shimmer on the eyes. And it dries down pretty quickly. I feel like when you apply a thin layer, it doesn't crease. If you apply more, it might crease, like most liquid shadows. I feel like it's hard to not crease. But I just like that this isn't very pigmented. It kind of just looks like my skin but glossy. Whereas a lot of other liquid eyeshadows, which I do really like I recently purchased, is it the Catrice one, like the liquid metal, and that's so pretty, but it is like so much color that you have to be doing a really dramatic eye look to be able to wear it. Whereas with this, like this is perfect for no makeup days when you just want to brighten up your whole look. And I just feel like it looks really, really pretty on everyone. And it's so inexpensive. So this is definitely like a hidden gem at the drugstore, and I haven't heard anyone talk about them ever. Okay, my first lip product that I think is underrated are the ColourPop Blotted Lips. These are only $5 and they come in these like little cute components and they're color coded, which I think is really cute.
Oh, that is cute.
Yeah, and they're so good and I don't know why no one talks about them. And I went on the website and a lot of them were out of stock, so I hope they're not discontinuing them. I'll be really disappointed. Then they came out with like the liquid blotted lip, right? Yeah, they have the ultra blotted lip as well, which I have those also, but I like these more. These are super comparable to the Glossier Generation G lipsticks. I will say I like the Glossier more because these are a bit more creamy and thick, and the Glossiers are a bit more waxy and thin. So I really love the Glossier one. I think it's super unique how it's like so thin on your lips you can barely feel it. But this one also has that effect. Like it's thin and sheer, but it's just a little more thick and creamy than the Glossier. I'm wearing the shade Candy Floss right now. I put some lip balm over it. And basically they're called blotted lips because it's like supposed to be a sheer lipstick, which is exactly what it is. You can build it up, like especially this shade, Bee's Knees, which I love. It's like a red pink. It's really, really beautiful. You can like put a very thin layer and it just looks like your lips were like barely touched with color, or you can build it up. This one is a little more opaque, so you can't really do that as much. I do find that the consistency like differs a little bit between the shades, but overall it's just such a beautiful formula. I think one of the best products ColourPop has, and again, no one talks about them. Even the component is really good quality. Like, I'm impressed, and I really hope that they don't discontinue them. And even though I like the Glossier ones more, I think that they're so comparable that you should save your money and buy these, because $5 versus, I think Glossier's are like $16.
Yeah.
So it's like a third of the price, and these are so good. So cheap. Okay, we only have one eyeshadow palette, and that is the Tarteist, yeah, Pro To Go palette, and this is just a tiny, tiny palette. I think I got this last year. It just has 6 eyeshadows in it. I did a tutorial, I think, using this last year when I bought it, so I can link that down below too. But this palette is so, so pretty and unique, and absolutely no one talks about it. Actually, that's lie. Beaudiction, if you follow her, she spoke about it recently, I think either in Instagram stories or in a video, but she was the only one I've ever heard talk about it. And I love the mix of warm and cool tones in here. You have like this really warm transition shade, but then you have the dark purple and the purple lid shade. Like, it's just, it somehow comes together so beautifully. In the tutorial, I used all 6 shades, and the eye look still comes off as neutral. It doesn't pull too purple at all. And I honestly think that the quality of the shadows in this is better than some of their larger palettes. I don't know why, but I used this the other day, and it lasted on my lids. I only use Crisp and Hype, and it lasted on my lids all day. And I had it on for probably like 14 hours, and I was just shocked at how it looked at the end of the day. That's so rare for me with eyeshadow. So I feel like the quality's there. The pan size is pretty good. I feel like it's not so much smaller than their regular palettes, and I think it was like $20. Hopefully it's still available, actually, now that I'm thinking of it.
I don't know if it is.
I think that it is. We try to take out products that are limited edition, because we had some, but yeah, but I don't think it was, or maybe it comes back every winter, I'm not sure. But I know that it wasn't marketed as like a limited edition palette, I don't think. But hopefully, I'll leave it down below if it is available. But highly recommend this, and I love how small it is, because it's really easy to travel with as well. Okay, another lip product that we think is underrated are the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Sharpenable Lip Liners. I have 2 shades. One is a beautiful nude. It's 112 Mastermind. The names are ridiculous.
I know.
They're so weird. And 100 Matte in Manhattan, which is like a really pretty red. And these are an interesting formula. I actually don't think I own a lip liner like them. They go on very opaque and very creamy, but they dry down like a liquid lipstick. And then they like do not move. They're actually really comparable to the Nude Sticks Intense Matte, or whatever they,
the magnetic matte
lip pencils.
Yeah.
Which those are more like a pencil, like a chubby pencil like lipstick, where these are lip liners, but the formula is super similar. So most of the time when I wear these, I actually do just fill in my entire lip, because it's a long lasting color. Yeah. And they're just beautiful shades. They go on so well. Like, it's definitely the creamiest lip pencil I use. If you don't like creamy lip liners, then this isn't for you. But like I said, they last forever. The color selection is beautiful. They are a more expensive item at the drugstore.
I think they're like $10.
I think they're $10. But I think that it shows in the quality. Like, these are very comparable to high-end lip liners. And if you like sharpenable pencils, I know that's like, a lot of people like retractable, but I really like sharpenable pencils. I think that
stay, they don't dry out as fast.
Yeah, they don't dry out, and they're generally creamier formulas that won't tug at your lips. So I really like them, and they're really pretty too. They're just a good formula. I have an eyeliner. This is the Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen. So this is my favorite shade, but I would say in general the whole range of these liners is underrated. The black one is so good too. It's so dark. We used the black one for years. What was it? Is it just Onyx? It's in my drawer. I just didn't get it's so good. This is Rose Glow, and I put this in a recent video because I love this. This is my new favorite for the waterline, because the bronze color just brightens the eyes without being too harsh. Love, love, love so much. But in general, like, the formula of these is unbeatable. It stays in the waterline. It doesn't irritate the eyes. So pigmented, so rich, and I just love them so much. They get good reviews. They do. They get really good reviews. I think there's like somewhere around 10 different shades, and they're not crazy colors, which I can appreciate a good like neon, like that's for someone, but I love that the range of these is like all like bold jewel tones that almost look like black, if you know what I mean. So they're gonna look pretty natural when you put them in the waterline or smudged on the top, however you want to wear them, but they're creamy, but they do last very long. They're just so good. Highly recommend if you're looking for a new pencil liner. Okay, last but not least, we have 2 setting sprays that we think are so underrated. The first one is the Pop Beauty Makeup Magnet Mist. And I bet you've never heard of this because I think I heard of it at my last job. And then this is like my 3rd bottle.
Well, I think they sell Pop Beauty at Walgreens.
They do, yeah. Is it Walgreens? One of the drugstores.
Yeah.
But Pop Beauty, I believe, is Pixie's sister brand. So that's why it's in like the same exact component as all of the Pixie setting sprays. But I like this one more than all of those setting sprays. Like more than the Glow Mist, more than the original. And those
Makeup Fixie Mist.
yeah, those are all so good. But this one, it says energizing and hydrating setting spray, which I completely believe. And it says, this makeup finishing mist spray fixes makeup like a magnet to the skin while delivering hydration and nutrients, ensures all-day makeup stay. It says it has caffeine to energize, licorice to depuff, and vitamin C to protect. And for some reason, this like makes my makeup last so long, but at the same time, it does like provide hydration, and it doesn't make my skin feel like tight. Like I think the Urban Decay, what is it? What do they call it? All Nighter. That one is like just puts your makeup like it'll just make your makeup last all day. But sometimes if my skin's really dry, it can like make my skin feel a little tight sometimes, not all the time. But this one is super hydrating, but it also really prolongs the wear of my makeup. And it smells really good. I think it smells like peppermint and that licorice root. Like, and look at the spray. Sorry, I'm gonna, like how perfect is that spray? Yeah. It's a perfect mist. I don't know why I've never heard a single soul talk about this. I actually think on the website there's only like 2 reviews as well.
Pop Beauty in general has some like underrated products.
Yeah, they
like
really,
the highlighters.
Oh yeah,
people love those.
And if you can find this, like seriously, just pick it up and you'll thank me later, because this is the setting spray I reach for. Besides MAC Fix Plus, this is the one I reach for the most, and I just can't believe no one talks about it. Mine is the NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. I've talked about this before, but no one else has. I love this.
I feel like someone has to have talked about that because it's like a NYX product.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone talk about it. I took a gamble. I was looking for a dewy setting spray that for the summertime that would also help with the longevity of my makeup, and I saw that this had good reviews on Ulta, so people must talk about it amongst themselves, but here on YouTube I haven't heard anyone talk about it. And I purchased this because it was pretty affordable, and
it's a nice cute size.
Yeah, and it's so good. I don't know if you can see the mist. I can try.
That's a good one too.
It's like a really good fine mist, and so
that felt refreshing.
I know. And so you just spray it on, and then I use my beauty blender and like press it into the skin, and it does give your skin like a dewy glow, but it does lock in your makeup so well and makes your makeup last so long. And that's just, I feel like, is impossible to find. A dewy finish that's so long lasting.
That's what I said. This one's hydrating, but still makes your makeup last.
And I mentioned this in a different video, but it has niacinamide in it, which is really good for like unclogging pores. So I know that it doesn't clog my pores, and I just love the setting spray. It is only 2 ounces. How many ounces is yours?
2.70.
Yeah, so this was only 2 ounces.
Made in Korea.
Oh, weird.
It's gotta be good skin.
So it won't last like a long time, but because it is so affordable, that doesn't bother me, and it is really good for traveling, because some setting sprays are just too big to travel with, which is annoying, and then you have to buy like the travel size. This is kind of somewhere in between, so it works for both travel and home. Okay, hopefully you made it through this video. I know it was so long, but we just love talking about these products because we want to be a fan of them. We want to get the word out, and we hope you guys like this video. If you do, we can do another one.
Yeah,
I'm sure we have more in our collection that we forgot about this time. And subscribe before you leave if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.